This is Dr. Malcom Potts, Professor of Public Health at UC Berkeley. He has earned top dishonors in position number 2 on the UC Berkeley Hall of Shame for the following reasons. Potts received his medical degree and PhD in embryology at Cambridge University. Embryology is the branch of biology that studies the origin, growth, development, and function of an organism from fertilization to birth. In a recent debate between Potts and pro-life advocate Scott Klusendorf, held at UC Berkeley on November 1, 2012, Potts made this astonishing claim, quote, "Fertilization is important, but it doesn't define things," end quote. This curious statement was in direct contradiction to previous statements made by his debate opponent, who claimed that human life begins at sperm-egg fusion. Potts says, and I quote, "Scott has suggested that the fertilized egg is a person, and that if you adopt that, then all abortions are wrong. End of problem. Actually, I would like to live in that world. It's so simple. I am jealous of that world because my experience is different." End quote. The critical question is this: is Potts correct in this viewpoint? Speaking as an expert in his field, and remember, he is an embryologist, a specialist, is his statement one that is shared by the rest of embryologists? No. Potts' viewpoint on this critical question is far outside the mainstream. It can be compared to a professor at Berkeley with his PhD in mathematics telling students that anyone who believes that 2 plus 2 equals 4 is living in a fantasy world. There is no debate among the majority of biologists and embryologists, except for Potts, when answering the question, when does human life begin? There is only one correct answer: at sperm-egg fusion. Scientifically and biologically, there is no other time on the continuum of life when this question can be answered. There are, of course, fierce debates over when the so-called personhood of a human begins, but these are arguments for another video. The question presented here is a narrow one. When does human life begin? The answer to this is simple. It begins at sperm-egg fusion, a scientific and biological no-brainer. One must wonder why Dr. Potts takes such an arbitrary and unscientific view of this all-important question. A quick look into Potts' professional record reveals strong evidence for why he has adopted this stance. For example, he became the first medical director of the International Planned Parenthood Federation in 1968. In 1972, he was the first physician to promote the technique of Uterine manual vacuum aspiration, a specialized vacuum cleaner used in first trimester abortions. While at Cambridge, he started the first clinic offering contraception to young people. This snippet of information shows that Potts is not an unbiased actor when it comes to the issue of abortion. On the contrary, he is an avid supporter of abortion and has worked with organizations where abortion is part and parcel of family planning, particularly the largest abortion provider in the world, Planned Parenthood. It becomes clear why Potts cannot, will not admit to scientific facts in answering the question, when does human life begin? How can he? To admit that human life begins at sperm-egg fusion and simultaneously support abortion on demand would no doubt be an impossible moral contradiction to live with. Potts is misleading countless impressionable students with his compromised half-truths. This is not only a tragedy for education and UC Berkeley's reputation, but is deadly to those preborn humans denied their rightful place in society by this doctor's refusal to properly identify their place in the human family. The damage done by this man's irresponsible teachings cannot be underestimated. I call upon UC Berkeley to fire this man and replace him with one who strictly adheres to scientific standards. When our evangelism team arrives on Cal for the upcoming Berkeley Blitz, I will also publicly call upon him to repent for his ungodly and deadly views.